In case you haven't known yet, Tower of Fantasy Global has been officially confirmed release date on 11 August for most of Southeast Asia and 10 August for majority of the West country. Just keep in mind that if you pre-register on Steam and Epic Game Store, the game comes out on Q4, which is October, November, and December. So the PC OG version is going to be coming out on August 11. So don't get confused with Steam and Epic Game Store. So be sure to go to the official website to pre-register, as we don't know if Steam and Epic Game Store server could be cross-platform with mobiles. No official news has been confirmed yet. Welcome back to my channel, Zackie-Senpai here, and I will be starting a playlist for Tower of Fantasy Beginner's Guide, and this is actually the second video. I wanted to talk about the resonance as well as the element, but I felt I have to cover the equipment system first, aka the artifact system. Now I refer it as artifact system because I know majority of the people who's going to try Tower of Fantasy are mostly Genshin players, and it's actually kind of easier to understand by referring it as artifact system because it's a little bit similar but not really. Let's get started, shall we? There are a total of 10 equipment parts on this China server. However, I think at the start on the global, we might just have 8 until raids get added until we hit VRam 2.0. These pieces of equipment consist of helmets, shoulder guard, armor, wrist guard, belt, glove, pants, and shoes. The rarity order of the equipment goes from gray, green, blue, purple, and ends with the highest rarity, gold. I highly recommend players to focus on maxing the gold equipment, prioritizing in saving resources for the gold equipment because you are going to use them long term. But since global is just about to start, there won't be any OP carry players yet, so it's okay if you find it difficult. You can try to enhance the rarity of the purple equipment. You can always save that purple equipment later to use it as a gold equipment enhancement, like a materials or resource to level up. There are various ways to get equipment. I will mention the most common way because trying to remember everything at this point is literally impossible for me. So I would just give you a fresh mind of where to get equipment. First is joint operation, which you will need at least 30 resin to open one box. It's not called resin, by the way. I just don't know what to call it. So you will need 30 resin to open one box in the dungeon. You will need a total of 90 resin, as each run of the dungeon has a total of 3 boxes that will give you equipment. Sometimes they don't give you equipment, sometimes they give you matrix, sometimes they give you resources and stuff like that. So the chances of getting equipment is there but not there. You can only get gold equipment at level 6 dungeon. However, I highly recommend try doing the level 7 dungeon, as they will drop not just for one type of equipment. For example, you can take a look at this picture right here. There's actually one at the level 6, yep, and then level 7 you have 2. So the chances of getting a gold equipment is likely higher. Another way of getting golden equipment is by using golden crystal. You get them from a lot of ways, such as doing dungeon run, farming materials, doing weekly, and climbing the bygone phantasm. I might miss out some point, but just try to look around when the game is finally up, as this topic has a lot of things that I cannot remember. You need a total of 1,200 golden crystal to redeem for a golden equipment. The great thing about this is, unlike going through the dungeon run, you can select the pieces of equipment you want. However, the stats will be randomized, just like picking up from the dungeons. Another way to get equipment is through equipment chests, which given from event at times or just purchased using real money from the shop, but it's really not worth it, as stats can be random. Alright, I hope I don't miss any part, as I have been going through and review where to get them several times. If I do miss out, please point it out in the comment section below, as I am still a human and I still make mistakes, but I'm pretty sure this is the most common ways of getting equipment. This is what I do every day and every week. Let's move on to strength and rarity of the equipment. Okay, here is where things get a little bit complicated, and it might be easier to understand through your own personal experience once the games is out. I'll try my best to make it easier to understand, but it's actually quite a complicated process, and once you figure it out, it's actually easy to understand. Alright, let's talk about the equipment piece by piece. So every equipment will have their base stat, meaning that armor will always have this stat, belt will always have this stat, forearm guard will always have this stats. As you can see right here, they're actually the same except in terms of levels. So we'll go back to armor first. So this is the base stat. For every pieces of the same type, they will be the same. And then we have our enhancement unlock. Now this enhancement unlock will appear for the same for every pieces as well, except a You see this number over here. We'll come back to it more details. This number will unlock the enhancement unlock. So as you can see right here, this is 30 and then this is 0, so this was not unlocked yet and this is already unlocked. Last but not least, we got our random stat, which is something very similar to your artifact systems. Every time you increase the stars right here, as you can see. I'm sorry, I have to do this freestyle ways because it's a little bit too complicated to write it down without referring it. So every time you increase the stars, either one of these 4 will get increased. So it's RNG. But let's talk about the number first. As you can see right here, this little 30 right here, the maximum level of maximum level of the equipment is actually 40. So in order to increase this equipment level, you'll be needing this. And each time you increase, like I'm gonna need 30 for 1 bar, another 30 for 1 bar, another 30 for 1 bar, and another 30 for 1 bar. And once I reach that, I'm gonna be needing this 30 of this, as well as this. So you can get both of these from the shop by using the blue crystal dust, which you can get very similar to how you get the golden one. Now as you can see right here, my armor, right? My armor is level 30. So if I prefer this armor stat over here, I can just swap it and then it will still be level 30, but I lose all of my stars, meaning all of my ascension or rarity or enhancement. So I'm gonna swap it back. Okay, there we go. It's 30 again with all the stars. So the level will never go down. Alright, now that we got the level out of the way, we're gonna talk about the little star things right here. So in order to increase the star, let me just go to an empty equipment. Let me replace this with yeah, this, I think this just an example, right? Just an example. I gotta make sure I lock that one so that I don't mess up. So let's lock this one. It's actually a really great piece of equipment. So right here on the second tab is where we're gonna be increasing the rarity or the stars, and every time you increase the stars, a random stat will increase. Let me show you. So we can use the same type of equipment like a forearm guard. We can use any rarities, and we can also use this crystal right here to increase their level. Now you get this crystal various way, but I'm gonna mention it right here again. You can also get this crystal using this purple one, and just very similar to the way you get the blue and the gold, the dungeons weekly and stuff like that. And then you can redeem for this over here. Now this is what you do with the purple one. Don't spend the purple one on the purple equipment. Like I said, the purple equipment is not going to be lasting long term, only at the start of the game. So we're gonna try to redeem this just to show you what's the right thing to do. Now we're back to the equipment right here, and then we're gonna show you how it works. Now I'm gonna waste a little bit of precious resources right here. So we're gonna increase its level and take a look at that. Take a closer look that some of the random stat is going to get increased. Okay, we got HP increase right here. Now in Tower of Fantasy, we have this little thing right here which I would like to call Stats Suppressor, and you get them by doing weekly. Okay, I have to go back and show you once again. So if you do all your weekly up to the point of 900, you'll be getting 1 Stats Suppressor. Right now I have 4, so I can showcase it to you. It's gonna hurt me, but I'm gonna show it to you. Okay, I'm gonna increase its level again, and this time I'm gonna use the Stats Suppressor. Now it can say that I can increase how many of the Stats Suppressor I want. However, you can only block 1 stat. Okay, I'm blocking HP because right now I'm a DPS. I don't want too much HP. I want it to be focused more on my volt attack or as well as my physical. So you cannot block multiple. Like if I increase it to 2, I cannot block multiple stats, because if you increase it to 2, it means that if the weapon reach the next level, it will still block that stat. Understand what I mean? So I'm not gonna try to waste 2. So right now, if I block 1, you have a 1 out of 3 chance of getting the stats you want. Okay, now the complicated part is finally over. I'm gonna do freestyle all along the way. So if you go back to my main weapons like here, I got my power level, and increasing your equipment will give you like some sort of GS. I think in global they call it CS. Regardless, it's some sort of like a power level, but it differs around your tank build or your whatever build. So I don't think it's very relevant, but it's to show you whether you're near to that kind of power level or something like that. So let's go back to over here. So if you see this pyramid over here, it says 2/8. Okay, it says if I have 8 equipment that is at level 25, I will get this passive stat. And the next activation level will be if I have 8 equipment that is at level 30, I will get this passive stat right here. Now I should be reaching 40, but I was a bit too lazy to do Bygone Phantasm. I apologize, but I will be doing them pretty soon. So I guess this is everything that I have to talk about regarding equipment system. Nothing much to talk about it anymore. Equipment, I think we covered on my videos, but I haven't covered about matrices and stuff like that, and then we have character cosmetic and bond like that, which I would talk about individually. I'm sorry I had to do freestyle, or maybe freestyle is actually more convenient for me for making videos, but sometimes viewers just don't have a better visual. Now in the future, I think once Raid get added, we might get this, and then once 2.0 edit, we might get this, and I haven't get this equipment yet. I haven't found out yet because I've been busy preparing videos for global. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If I have missed a point, any CN, any China server player veterans, please point it out, as like I said, I'm not perfect, I will still make mistakes. So again, this suppressor is actually free. You can get them from event, you can get them from World Exploration in 2.0, you can get them from weekly, and you can also get them from, you know, using real money, but it's not recommended. The chances is still, you know, there to fuck you up. Again guys, thank you all so much for watching. Massive Pendragon here, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Tower of Fantasy content. With that said, hey, it's just a gaming channel.